We as a company, since we are serving so much in the society, we need to figure out a better way of doing our business because it's going to be less space. Customer would like to have people have the stuff delivered in less time. And we need to do that more effectively going forward. In the next 5 years, we're going to complete a big leap forward when it comes to intelligent business solutions that are equal to the history of the whole company.
If I look at the big picture, if I look at the sort of the mega trends that this esteemed panel is going to discuss in a moment, there's one area that I'd like to specifically pick up, and that's a digitalization. Material handling and logistics is a huge industry today, one of the largest in the world, but it is actually surprisingly inefficient. The industry loses tens of billions, maybe hundreds of billions, because we don't have the transparency and we don't understand the data that is driving the industry. And I think there's a real opportunity to make the industry more efficient, more intelligent, and that's a huge opportunity for us in Cargotec.
We expect a 60% increase in congestion in the city centre if we don't do anything about it. And what can you do about it? You can change the space a bit, you can change the time a bit, but clearly what we need to do about thinking about this is rethink how we do things in a much more systems-based way. So how do we do everything about the flow of goods, including on the street, on the road space, but also at the point where we make deliveries to people, where we collect the waste, where we collect the construction materials? Because if we don't rethink that, then we will face, incredible increases in congestion, which will either be seen as unacceptable or be fantastically inefficient, and anyway will be something that makes those images that we saw, which for me have a lot of positive things in it. I live in a city centre, I like the images of the city, but I wouldn't want to live in a city where it's constantly gridlocked, where we have nothing but noise and nothing but problems about the delivery spaces itself.
We talk a lot about the problems here. I'm an optimistic guy, and I really believe in connectivity and digital as enablers to solve a lot of these problems. What I really believe in that we can create with the more connected and digital world is the more sustainable business models, where you have the circular economy, where in the end of the business model you don't have waste, you actually take that back into the business model.
One of the very key information or the added value for the operator or the owner of the equipment is to control the safety. You have seen on the screen, you could see all of the locks, all of the position of the equipment that was a demountable operated in the steel factory in Tornio in the north of Finland. So you can check that the operator is actually driving, following the safety rule, that is not moving the truck with the hook unfolded. That's a very safety-related example. But we see also a lot of our customers that are operating 50,000 euro crane, 50,000 euro asset, using only twice per day. So imagine if they become a part of the ecosystem that is enabling them to use their assets on a much higher utilization rate, on a with a much higher efficiency. And this is what the digitalization is really about. It is about creating added value or removing the waste by means of data, not by means of hardware.
What happens in an all-connected world is that the biggest efficiency gains you get not just optimizing the product or optimizing the fleet for a single customer, but if you can optimize the value chain that Michael is into. And that requires a new way of thinking. So when I work with the clients I often work with, the focus is to move from a very product-centric perspective only to start looking at both customer performance perspective and industry performance perspective. And then you need to do things in a new way.
The whole thing is about being aware of the effect of the noise you make on others. I think we're probably or individually we understand that, but I think collectively we have yet to understand the gravity of the situation. So I'm very encouraged by the fact that digitalization, and I can't say it either, and, will actually mean that things will work more smoothly, that there will be a much more intelligent way of delivering, and that will be good for all of us. Not quite, and what we would like to have is quiet delivery 24/7, because you don't want to have two different methods of delivery. You want it to make it efficient and quiet, and to that end, the Noise Abatement Society has a thing called the Quiet Mark, which is a mark of approval for quiet technology, if you like. In fact, we gave one to Moffat's e-lifter, the electric lifter, because that's enabling part of the quiet delivery program.
So in Hiab, we are preparing for the cranes that can be installed on the truck equipped with EPTO. So when you do not need the engine to power the PTO or to create the hydraulic pressure to operate the crane. 2020 in the Tokyo Olympics, they are already announcing that there will be fully autonomous taxis. And then I expect that there will be 5 to 10 years more to come for the really driverless trucks. What do we do with the crane operators for the cranes sitting on the trucks? Do we put the operator on the driverless truck to drive into the forest to perform an operation? No, High Vision is actually preparing us for the future, where we have the driverless trucks and most probably autonomous or completely remotely operated cranes and other load handling equipment.